No, if I say it first, right?
Conversations Between by RNIB.
My name's Clarke Reynolds, aka the blind braille artist from Portsmouth.
My name's Steve Buggle. I'm a retired artist, but I run an art gallery in Gospel.
Can you describe your sight loss?
So my sight loss is like looking underwater. Sometimes when you open your eyes underwater, you see light, you see shadow, you see darkness. Sometimes you see a bit of detail. So for me, that is how my eyes play out, and every day is a different day.
How do you approach creating your art?
We don't see with our eyes, we see with our brains. So losing my sight wasn't like, oh my God, I'm losing my sight, what do I do? The light bulb moment, like any artist would tell you that they found something, was learning braille. I basically take the English language and use the braille dot to become a vessel to hold that language. So by learning braille, people engage with it through touch and conversations.
I consider myself quite reasonable at art. Studied under some well-established artists, people like Sir Terry Frost. Looking back to the mid to late 70s, it was very difficult to make your way as an artist unless you got access to galleries. In those days, we'd only give you a chance if they thought they could sell your work. So it was very difficult to break into the art world as an individual.
What do you think the barriers are to getting into the art world?
The thing for me is probably attitude, that if somebody is visual impairment or blind, they would be discouraged from engaging with the visual medium. When you engage with them and provide the medium and the opportunity to express themselves, we often get feedback from them which says that they've always been discouraged from that level of engagement.
How can we change misconceptions about sight loss in society?
I go into schools and I teach braille to every child in primary school. Those kids ask questions about sight loss that adults don't ask. So my braille art is breaking down the stigma attached to sight loss. The younger generation is the way to change how we see blindness. It's that generation now that we have to say, hang on, what is blindness? In the future, why can't there be blind filmmakers, blind sound engineers? You know, there is no limitations of what a blind person can do in the creative industry. It's only what society puts on us that we can and cannot do.
What would you say to someone who says, you can't be an artist because you can't see?
I was an artist before I lost my sight. But because I lost my sight, it became a hobby in society, just because I have the word blindness in front of me now. And that really frustrates me. That's the perception of a blind person in the creative industry, because it's a visual environment. No matter what happens in my career, it's still, the aspect is, oh, isn't it nice you've got a hobby? Because they think as a blind person, I am a hobbyist. It's not a profession in their eyes.
You have described your art as seeing without seeing. Can you explain that?
So seeing without seeing, it does what it says on the tin. I mean, my braille artwork, it's colourful dots. You know, every artwork tells a story. When I do invigilating in galleries, people don't know that I'm actually the artist. And they're looking at it and they're chatting about it. And then I go up to Brian and said, oh, by the way, I'm the artist. And then we have the conversation. And say, how can you create that art? And that's what I find exciting, to shock people.
RNIB. See differently.